Underdawgs podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden. The most known unknown will realize.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With a peanut butter tear like a Reese.
Everybody's plotting on their downfall and maybe not expecting them to win, but they come out on top anyway.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can't see me.
We're gonna work hard. We're gonna stay dedicated. We're gonna be motivated.
I don't know. Being an underdog is probably more of a compliment for me.
Out of sight, out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking this scripture just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
If you move like keeping it peach and keeping it real, like that's an underdog.
Surpass those long expectations. You're able to keep going no matter what.
You want to keep setting an example for people to follow. So the underdog isn't the loser.
Underdog is really honing in on your talents, dog. Don't let the compliments get you high.
But as an underdog, all you got is you. That's when you at your peers. You have to go through that phase so that you can be prepared for what's coming your way.
Yo, what it do, good people? Welcome to the Underdawgs podcast. We back at it again, season 7, episode 14. We got a very special guest on the show today. Behind the spotlight, featuring a media mogul, entrepreneur, influencer, founder of Always Relevant TV. We got China Lovelace. You know, we're gonna be talking entertainment. She also an AKA in the sorority, and we're going to talk all the growth and everything. But before we even get into it, we got to let y'all know what's going on real talk. This is China Lovelace, Pretty Girl Freestyle. Out on YouTube right now, by the way. Talk. We ain't going to wait no time, no, man. We're going to go on and bring you in.
Hey.
Okay, then. What's happening, China?
Man, that was a really good intro. So thank you.
Hey, I see how you popping it, but I said it's on the right though. You feel me? Like if you've been in media as long as you've been in, you might as well go on and jump in there and do your little 1-2. You know what I mean? Real talk. That's what it is, you know. But like I say, you know, it's an honor to have you on the platform today, you know, to kick it with the underdogs. But like I say, you know, as we push the importance of knowing ourselves and everything like that, you know, to our audience, you know, share a bit about your background and your role in the entertainment industry.
Yeah. My background. I mean, and when you say entertainment industry, I'm like, oh, that's pressure because I be feeling like I'm still an underdog and I'm not where I want to be at. But I'm from the Bay Area. I grew up in San Leandro, which is like 15 minutes south from Oakland. But I moved to Stockton. Yeah, I moved to Stockton, which is the Central Valley. That's like almost an hour and a half from Oakland. So it's like two different vibes. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I knew I was going to college. I didn't know what college I was going to, but my family was really big on education. And my mom was like, you're going to college. And BET College Hill came out when I was in high school. Virginia State was on there. I'm like, it's lit. I'm going there. Without my Virginia State education and my experience there, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at today. Like, I started off in radio at WBST FM, which is Virginia State Station. Radio, they beat in your head like you got to wear multiple hats. So you're not just coming in cute, being an on-air personality. You got to learn how to run the board, the logs, the systems. So that really set the foundation up for my career. After I graduated, I had a job working at a station in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, which is like an hour and 15 minutes south from Petersburg. So I would be going out there one day a week, making $7.25 an hour, working for 3 hours, but I loved it. Like it got me my experience, like the relationship that I built with Miss Williamson, who's in the mass comm department. She's still there over the radio station, and some of the alums, like it helped me get my job. I was only at the station for like almost a year before they laid me off because it was just a really small station. So from there, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I had worked at a lot of call centers before I got the big job that I got now. Because I worked at Capital One in Virginia. And then when I moved to Charlotte, I was like, okay, I need a job. Radio not going to pay my bills, but I'm going to still pursue my passion. But I had worked at this call center called Windstream. it wasn't bad, but it's just not like what I went to school for. And my
Mm-hmm.
mom would be like, I didn't pay all this money to help you get your degree for you to work at these call centers. You need to get a job in your field. So me and my one of my friends, we had went to like a job fair in Charlotte, and Charlotte Motor Speedway was there. I didn't know nothing about no Charlotte Motor Speedway. I didn't know nothing about NASCAR, but I was just like, it's an opportunity to intern in their PR department. So I took a really big risk by betting on myself. I quit my full-time job with the support from my family. I had a little bit of money tucked to the side. But I
Mm-hmm.
had worked that job, that internship, like non-paid, because I knew like that experience was going to help me get to where I'm at today. And that was in 2013. So
Mm-hmm.
no, it was 2014. I'm sorry. And that was at a time when social media was still very fairly new, and businesses were just using them for like a business standpoint. So I had just learned a lot, like how to run social media from a business account, writing press releases, because it's much different from working in radio, like having to do all of the writing. So that definitely helped me move back to California in 2015, and really just kind of been grinding ever since. I did like some volunteer work with a local station in Oakland called Our TV. I met my homegirl Erin there. Like she would do the camera, I would be in front of the scene, and we was just like, "This is cool, but we could do this on our own. We don't really need the station to kind of get out there and cover events." So we seen that the Amber Rose Slut Walk was happening in LA, and we was just like, "Let's just finesse this a little bit. Put that we gonna go for Our TV, but just really say we gonna go on our own accord." And that's how we launched Always Relevant TV. So yeah.
Real talk. So three
Yeah.
things that I just picked up on, you feel me? First, shout out to the family and they support, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like I say, it's the humble beginnings. That's why this is important right here. This is how we always
Mhm.
started off, because we want people to like, a lot of people think everything microwave and it's instant success, but they don't understand like all the background work, all the hard work they had to
Mhm.
go into it. Like you say, in the beginning,
Yeah.
everything don't be always monetary and there. Like you gotta really just put yourself out there. And when you allow
Mhm.
yourself and set your plays up, the universe be like, all right, you work hard, it's time. Like it run you right into what you looking for, you
For
know?
sure. Because it
Um,
was no money doing like Always Relevant TV in the beginning. And I'm not even making what I would like to make, but it's just like when you have a passion for something, you still do it. And then
yeah.
that's why you have like a full-time job to like fund your passion. You know what I mean? But it was many a jobs that I've had in between to like even the job that I work now currently at the Shade Room. But yeah, like all of those were just stepping stones to get me to where I'm at today. So definitely like don't think everything is glamorous.
Big facts, you know, and that's what I be wanting people to understand, you know, is that like a lot of people feel like even with social media, the rise of social media and stuff, like how you said y'all decided, be like, man, we can do this on our own, we don't need radio. Like that's the time and we in now when social media created that. Just how we talking on this podcast. I'm sitting in
Yeah.
Atlanta, I'm live from the A right now. You on the West Coast, like that's the
Mm-hmm.
power of it. And I realized that as we kept going with what we doing, we 3 years strong
Mm-hmm.
now, and I understand my purpose halfway into what we doing. So it's just like that's just what I'm on, you know, and what I stand on. So I do a
Yeah.
lot of things myself, but it's just like me putting myself into this. I ain't coming, to be honest, this happened by accident, but it was the best thing that could have happened, you know, because it was me being an artist, being frustrated and seeing what certain outlets be doing for artists. And so
Mm-hmm.
instead of me sitting there and just putting the phone in my face, like, man, I don't like what y'all doing and calling them out. Let's control the
Yeah.
narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like we the news now. We can do what we want to do and show what's going on, build our own following and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's everything. But I got a question too. Do you know you knew Blue on air? Her name Brittany?
I don't know her like that. Like we're
Yeah.
more connected through social media, but I do
Yeah.
know her. I know she was on I think one of the iPower stations, and I
Hmm.
think she might have been the 757, but I keep in contact with her through social media.
Okay.
She's another
Yeah.
girl in radio that's killing it for sure too.
Yeah, I figured out, let me see if you know her, cause I know she was at state doing the same type of thing. You feel me? So I was like, yeah, let me see how I close that connection. Um,
Yeah.
so if somebody was to describe you, like what kind of vibes do you bring in the room? Like somebody close to you, if they was to ask about, you know, China, what you would think they'll say?
My mom say I'm a hurricane, like because when I come in, I'm just so loud and energetic, and I be singing. I get the vibe started. So my mom be like, I come through like a hurricane, which is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as the life of the party. I'm very energetic. I'm a people person. Like everybody loves China. Like I don't got a lot of enemies, and if you my enemy, like that's because you don't like me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I'm a people person, very adventurous, a hustler. Like everybody know, like if it's something I want to do, I'm gonna find a way to make it happen. So yeah, but I'm a girl's girl.
Nah, that's what's up. So,
Yeah.
being that we 1 month into 2024, like how this year been treating you so far? Like, what does having a fresh start mean to you? You know what I'm saying? As you look ahead, like everybody be like, some people wait until December 31st to be like, all right, this is my New Year resolution, and
Hmm.
which is I don't knock nobody, whatever they do to motivate themselves and stuff. But I
Yeah.
feel like you already got to be on the bike pedaling. You know what I mean? Like that's how
Hmm.
you roll. It's the rollover. Like whatever ain't get his, shine on in 2024, it go into
Yeah.
2025, so like and then what's some lessons last year you learned that you brought into this year too?
Well, I'll start with how the year has been going so far. The year's been going good. I brought my New Year's in Ghana. So I went to
Oh
Ghana
God.
December 26th. Yeah, through January 3rd. It was life changing. It was so beautiful. I feel so refreshed and just renewed. Like, it was just so peaceful there. Like, I'm welcomed home. So I really had, a good start to my year so far. Last year, I knew that I needed to go the hardest that I've ever went in 2025. Just with my platform, the visibility that I want to have and the trajectory that I want to have on my career. It's not enough just to be associated to the company that I work for and expect to get notoriety from that. I have
Mm-hmm.
to like do something and have something for my own. So I was like, this is gonna be the year, but I'm really gonna have something for my own. So with Always Relevant TV, I just feel like it's kind of just been in the back burner. You get comfortable when you're working a full-time job and you kind of sometimes, at least for me, let my personal goals fall to the wayside. But I was like, I'm not doing that this year. So I did
Mm-hmm.
launch my podcast through my platform, Always Relevant TV. I just kept it the same. It's called Always Relevant Conversations. So it's like an interview, like conversation style. I really want to still keep my platform the same, focus on up and coming talent and established artists and people that are really like pushing the culture forward. I
Mm-hmm.
just went on Peerspace, found a studio because I was just like, I don't mind paying for somebody's time service so I can just like let
Yeah.
things up on my side. Um, so yeah, it's been going good. I just dropped my second episode yesterday with Dr. Trevor Thomas. He's the visionary behind Smile LA on the Zeus Network. So we chopped it up. He spilled some tea, told me like where his dental office is gonna expand. So that's been going good. Um, I've been fasting. I'm currently on the Daniel fast. So I'm doing this for 21 days. Today is my seventh day. So just really trying to just get my body together, my mind, just really for trying to be the best China that I can be. Because I really want God to like really, I want this to be a transformative year for me. Like I want to move. I'm thinking about moving to Dallas. I've been talking about it for years. I want to move in my career. I want to elevate, and I just want more. So I would say my year has started off great.
Nah, it's definitely
Um,
coming.
yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then to go on, what was some of like my biggest lessons that I learned in 2024? Um, It was 2024. Some people be like 2024 was a really hard year. It was highs and lows for me, but I don't ever think like a year was just all bad. You know what I mean? But I would say that it's kind of a hard question because you gotta like really think like what was your biggest lesson? But I guess I would just say like being stop being okay with being like uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I feel like the biggest thing that I struggled with was imposter syndrome. So even though like I'm so like big personality, I have my own platform and I have access to these things, like in my head I'd be like, I'm scared to post it because I don't know what people are gonna say. And so
Mm-hmm.
this year I was like, I cannot have imposter syndrome. Like I'm that girl. I gotta believe I'm that girl, and somebody is gonna like the content that I put out. So this year is like, okay, I was kind of dragging my feet with cutting up some clips for my podcast. Like the first episode, I was just like trying to just put it out there, and I put it out there, and I had such a good welcoming like response from people. I seen people that like commented on the podcast that I didn't even know was following me or didn't even realize was like we were tapped in. So it's just like, stop letting like being uncomfortable like paralyze you. Like, just you got to just do it.
Yeah,
Stop
for
making
real.
excuses, just do it.
For real. Don't let our mind be the biggest thing that be in the way for us. Either we already trying to predict something we ain't take a step
Yeah.
towards yet, it's like setting them
Mhm.
roadblocks. But it's human, you feel me? We gonna all feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, it's like you say, when you cleansing yourself and getting your mind right and getting your mental clarity and stuff, like
Yeah.
you just go for what you know and just do it. It's like
Yeah.
it's only one China, like you just said, you described like when you come in the room, you don't, it's you. Like ain't nobody else can
Mhm.
bring that type of vibe or the atmosphere like you be. It's being useful, not useless. You feel me? And you
Yeah.
useful out here. You feel me? So you gotta make it happen. Like
Period.
um so being from Oakland, California, like what was it like growing up there? For someone who never visited too, what makes your city stand out amongst others? Like what make it unique?
Yeah. Well, I'm from San Leandro. It's next to
Okay.
Oakland. So I just want to clear that up because people be like, she said because they know I be repping San Leandro hard.
Yeah.
But just being from the Bay Area, like
Yeah, so yeah, the Bay.
my grandma still lives in Oakland. So when I do fly back home, like I go to Oakland, I go to her house. It's like it's lit. Like it's a little crazy right now there because the crime has gotten out of control. It's a lot of bipping, which is basically like people getting robbed and cars getting broken into, a lot of theft right now. But I'm
Mhm.
hoping that things do turn around and things calm down because I was talking to one of my friends and she was like, yeah, my dad, his tools keep getting stolen and stuff like that. So I'm just like hoping like they don't act crazy because All-Star weekend is coming up. But besides like the negative, like the positives, like I mean, I have lifelong friends that I've made out there. I feel like growing up in San Leandro, like being from California, period, is like diverse. Like you're gonna get a little bit of everybody, but I had a good upbringing. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that though when I took a trip out to Cali, how diverse it is. Like,
Mhm.
just coming from the South, going out west too, and how like the dynamics of, you don't get that little kind of how they said prejudice type of vibe, but
Oh
not like
yeah.
everybody was cool, you know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
just like, man, it's hit different.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so who would you say, molded you into the person you are today? Like, were there any, early influences that shaped your path?
Um, I think like my family, like my mom, my dad, like growing up with my dad, he's always been incarcerated, so I felt like I always wanted to just be better than my parents. Like my parents had me really young. Like my mom was 18. So just wanting to be better than my parents and knowing that they want me to be better and succeed and surpass their wildest dreams really helped me. And again, like my mom was just like, you going to college. So like my mom always been supportive in whatever I wanted to do. Like I was on a dance team. I sucked, but she was like, okay, I'm gonna let you try your hand at this. Like,
Mhm.
anything I wanted to try out, like I just always had that family support. I don't know how I could have gotten through that internship in Charlotte, like not working, without my mom. Like she really held me down at that time. Like I said, I had a little money set to the side. I was getting food stamps at that time, which I didn't mind because I needed to eat. And she was paying my rent for that internship was for a few like maybe like from it was from April. I quit that
Yeah.
job in April, so from April to December, like she paid my rent, and then when I got a stipend, I paid it for the next year, and then I had a job, so I was back on my feet and everything like that. But my mom really has held me down, so just I guess my mom and my dad, like my motivation, just wanting to do good to show them like, okay, this degree wasn't in vain. All the sacrifices that y'all made wasn't in vain.
Yeah, shout out to them, you feel me? Because that's very important. I feel like, when especially like to your children is to,
Mhm.
bring that light out of them so they can shine. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah,
dim their light. For real.
right. Yeah,
So
no, I don't have anybody like friends or family members. Like nobody has ever told me like to not pursue my dreams or not do what I want to do. Like my mom actually has been telling me for years, like you should be doing your YouTube. You should have a podcast. Like my mom been on my head. And I feel like, dang, if I would have listened to my mom, like I would have been so much further in my career because I can remember like when I graduated college in 2012, podcasts were new and it
yeah.
wasn't as many podcasts out there not like it is now. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but it was like a new thing. And I'm just like, well, if I would have done it then, who's telling what I would be like in 2025? But you know, everything is in God's timing, you know.
Yeah, facts. Like everything just align how it's supposed to align. You feel me? It's a lot of like what else, but it's like we
Yeah.
here, we here now. You know what I'm saying? So big fact. So let's talk about the media, you know, career and all the influences. So like when is your passion, you know, for the entertainment industry begin, and like what was some of the key moments of people that influenced you to pursue this path? Like was there any particular moment?
Mm-hmm. I think like, you know, some people going into college don't know what they wanted to do, but like I always knew like I wanted to be in entertainment in some aspect. Like I always was like, you know, I would like to be like the Wendy Williams, because Wendy Williams, you know, she started off in radio and she transitioned to
Mm-hmm.
TV. And like Nina Parker, like she's really dope. Like I know she went to college in the Bay Area. So like women like that, like just showing me like, okay, I could have like a talk show one day, or I could work into TV and radio. But I think like just like I just knew I wanted to work for BET. Like that's my dream company. That's like a dream job that I've had. So like going into high school, seeing College Hill, seeing my dream college and like wanting to work for them, I was like, okay, I'm gonna work in entertainment. But I think like when I was a sophomore when I got to our class toured the radio station at Virginia State, because like I had TV classes, like you know, you do a little bit of everything under that mass common umbrella. But when I went into that radio station, I was like, oh my gosh, I could really do this. Like I'm here at the school and these resources are in front of me. So just having that like that that being encouraged and empowered to like utilize the resources, because at Virginia State it was so many mass comm majors, like that's like
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest school under liberal arts, but not a lot of people was taking advantage of stuff. And like in this industry you gotta really want it, because nobody is coming and handing out any opportunities. Like a lot of the times you have to create your opportunity
For
for it
real.
to like manifest into something bigger.
You ain't lying. You got to set the play
Yeah.
up, and then it's just fine. You. That's just how everything works in life. Ain't nobody gonna just say here. Like if when they do decide to be like, okay, you deserve this, is because they seen your portfolio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, they see the work. They know if they give you the play that you gonna work hard with it, because they already know what you're doing.
for sure.
Uh,
For sure.
so who are your top 3 media personalities you admire in the industry and why? You already mentioned Wendy Williams.
Yeah, Wendy Williams, Nina Parker, and I'm gonna say Dominique the Diva, just because she went to Virginia State, and I
Mm,
really got to see like how she was hustling. She was working at like different radio stations. Like I remember, like I feel like she was still a student at Virginia State, or it could have been like closely after she graduated. But I know she used to work in the 757, and for those that are not familiar, that's like the Hampton Roads area in Virginia. So she worked at a station there. And then I know she had came back to Richmond. Now she has her own syndicated show in DC. So I try to like pop in and listen when I can. But she was some like she's like my peer. Like she's my soror. Like she went to the same college as me. She's successful. So it's like firsthand experience. Like I see like somebody that walked the same path or a similar path than me on the campus is successful, and it's like I can do it too.
nah, big facts, you know. So even that you a media personality too, and you deal with a lot of artists and music and stuff like that. So who would be your top 3, you know, musical influences you would say, and why? Could be dead or
Um
alive too. It don't gotta be like in any genre.
okay. Top three musical influences. Um I
All
gotta say
time.
Meg of all time. Okay. Well, I'm gonna still go with Meg Thee Stallion because she's my
Yeah.
favorite. I
Okay.
love me some Meg. Gotta talk about the Bay Area. I'm from Bay Area. One of my favorite rappers is Mr. Fab. He's super dope. We know each other in real life, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Keisha Cole. That's my
All
girl.
right.
That's my girl. It's
Yeah.
my favorite singer. I fight you behind Keisha. Keisha Cole for me. It's over. Okay, don't play with my girl.
Nah, real talk. That's a good line, huh? You ain't even waste no time. Usually people like, man, that 3 hit hard.
Yeah, it's
Real
hard,
talk.
but like I just know like my faves, like
Yeah,
the
regardless.
three M's.
Yeah. Now that's what's up. So from your perspective, how do you feel about the media industry and like where it's headed? Like because you've seen it evolve, you know, from like I say, growing up and watching it before social media, we had the, like you say, the AJ and Free, we had the Rock City, we had a lot of different, like, you know, shows going on, like, and now you got social media with, like, it's all in your hands, you know, and media is just like you can discover folk, like, it's just wide open right now, you know. It ain't really, I could say it's somewhat some gatekeeping in a sense, but it's really the whole industry based off who you know though too. You know what I mean?
It really is.
You meet the right person that got the keys that ain't gatekeeping, you know what I'm saying? And you in good hands like all state, you know. So
No, for sure. Cause I mean, even in a sense, like with my job, like I'm a gatekeeper because I like control what's hot, what's not, what to post. It is a little cool, but I feel like I'm also like one of them people like, again, going back to the connections, like if I rock with you, if I feel like your artist has talent or I can see something in this path, or if it's just going up on the internet, like it's something that I would share with my job. But when it comes to like the always relevant TV side of things, like the gatekeeping be like hard, you know, because like you, it's like I can be a gatekeeper, but I'm like getting gate kept in a sense.
yeah,
But it's all about connections because like as I'm trying to like build my podcast and get people on, like I'm really having to lean into my own personal context more than ever. And I sometimes I be feeling like, well, dang, I don't be getting invited to stuff. I don't know that many people. I'm like, I do know people. I just need to open my mouth and say, hey, this is what I got going on. How can you support me? Can I get one of your artists on my show? Like most people they gonna tell you yes, but you gotta keep following up with them and beating that door down. I feel like nobody has really told me no. But it's like I'm using my personal context, like I'm posting it on LinkedIn. I'm asking people to share. Like I'm super close to getting like the YouTube followers that I need, so I can start trying to get monetized and everything like that. Like my blogs and stuff like that. So I'm just like asking people for help. Like I'm not, closed mouths don't get fed, and I'm just not handling that this year. So again, it's just like sometimes just a simple DM, like if I see you Virginia State or HBCU or Greek or anybody like that's not begging me for something, or like you should post this because of X, Y, and Z, like I'm gonna tap in and I'm gonna check it out. Like I'm a people person, like I'll rock with you, but I do have like my boundaries because some people just like will be crazy with it. They don't even
yeah.
say hi, they just DM you and they just want you to post something for them.
Like,
And I'm like, what you,
do it.
and it's always like I don't want to have a mentality like what you gonna do for me, but I feel like in this industry you gotta have mutual beneficial contract contracts contacts that like, okay, I did this for you, you gonna do this something for me, because everybody got
Yeah,
their hand out, but
yeah.
nobody wants to return the favor, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a sense of unity and teamwork with the right people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that's really all it come down to. And like even with the gatekeeping when it comes to music and all that's like it's needed in a certain sense though. You
yeah,
can't just be like everything just because like I said, the industry was once upon a time like I've been in the artistry since before social media. So when it was time to do like demo shopping with record labels and you know an agent that go to New York, like you really had to be talented back then. You know what I'm saying? Like now, like it ain't the substance kind of diluted and it's more on like what can I share basically rather
yeah.
than the talent now. So it's just a shift in the industry. But like I say, it's still a sense of, you know, you got certain people that's like it's just like what you want your longevity to be. You know, what type of
Mhm.
artist you really want to be. You know what I'm saying? You want to be
Yeah.
that popcorn in and out, or you want to be something that's gonna stick around, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's so easy to get caught up in like, and I always say like you just need that one song and that's been proven. Like you just need that
mhm.
one song to pop up, but what you gonna do to follow up with it? How you gonna have your stuff in place? Like how you
Yeah.
gonna take advantage of those opportunities? And like I take my hat off to artists because like I've dropped two songs,
Mhm.
like the Pretty Girl Freestyle and Thank You for Sharing My Video.
Oh yeah, and that out of
Um,
state.
yeah, and out of
Yeah.
state, like I just wanted to drop something cute for the Greeks, something fun, like Be King, like rest in peace. That was my homie, and
Yeah.
we had a communication and we had a friendship. So I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. He's like, fly to Houston, and then like with the other out of state song, like he sent me the beat. So it's just like cool, but it's like it takes so much money to be an artist. It takes
Yeah.
so much money to be an artist, and it's like you could be working and building your fan base up and building your views and your streams up, but to get to like that mainstream level, like it could just take some time and it take a lot of money. So
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
take an investment, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like I was mentioning, like you can be the most talented artist out here, but if you don't know the right people, it's a lot of talented
Mhm.
people out here. They just
Yeah.
don't know the right folk yet. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, because like I say, relationships can bring open doors that money can't. You can't just
Right.
buy your way for just like you can't buy your way for people to like you. It's only gonna be
Yeah.
business. You know what I mean? So when I feel like you just genuinely being yourself and doing what you supposed to do the right way and stuff, like keeping your face clean, and like it's all going to design to come, you know what I'm saying, with what's going on. Like
For sure.
for real,
Yeah.
for real. So let's talk about VSU, you know, shout out
Come
to the
on.
Trojans, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Trojans everywhere.
real spill. So you attended VSU, like what was that experience like and what, you know, did being a part of the HBCU mean to you?
Man, this weekend here, like we had the Battle of the Bands in LA and it felt like homecoming. Like
Mm,
they had the Black College Expo. So me and two other alum that we were in the VSU, the Cali VSU Alumni Association. We got a chapter out here now. But we got to table and we got to talk to so many people about Virginia State, share our
mm,
experiences, what campus like was like. And just I was a part of the world renowned Virginia State University Gospel Chorale, so it just felt good to like talk to the youth and people were coming up like, this is my dream school, it's my number one school. How was your
mm,
experience? Like it was just beautiful. Like it felt like being at home. And I have no regrets about my experience at Virginia State. Some things I would have done differently, but no
yeah.
regrets. Like I'm so glad that BT had College Show at Virginia State because I didn't know about Virginia State. And without that show, I know like our enrollment went up, and I'm a product of that. But like I said, I was a part of the world renowned Virginia State University Gospel Chorale. Like, of course, like singing and performing at different churches. Why do I want to say churches? That's been a thing. Churches. I can
Yeah.
see singing at different
Yeah.
churches and high schools and trying to get people to come and recruit and being able to travel. It was amazing. Like I built lifelong connections. Like my best friends that I met in Bird Hall, they still my girls to this
Mhm.
day. Like it was just a beautiful experience. And then on top of that, being a part of the Mass Comm Club and having that experience at Virginia State's radio station, like it really set me up for success. So I loved my HBCU.
Nah, VSU was lit. I ended up there by accident too. It's just getting away from Florida, you know, like that was a time. It was different, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate
Yeah.
the experience. Like I did like a year and some change though. But I
Mhm.
had built most of the like lifelong relationships with folk out there. You know, shout out to Big Flex, shout out to Blue.
Yeah.
To my dog, Coach Dre right now. Like it's a lot of good
Yeah.
experiences, you know. But I feel like I was just young and too moving too fast, you know. But yeah, it was definitely one of the ones though, you know, like the experiences of what they call it, the gym, was it the gym jam or something they
Oh
had
my
back?
gosh, the gym jam, midnight
Yeah,
breakfast, just
like
spring semester, being on the yard, just
right there
everything.
On
Man,
Foster,
Foster
like
Hall. I
yeah.
remember like when I came in 2008, like the engineering building was new, so everybody would hang out there. Like it was just a time. Like I can remember
Mhm.
like just like with in back of Foster, like them playing music, and I'm like, what is this? This is
Yeah.
Go Go. I never heard Go Go
Oh
before.
yeah,
Like
that's DC. Yeah.
yeah, Baltimore club music. What is this? Like but
Yeah.
I was so open to like I'm somewhere when I get there, I'm gonna embrace the culture. And I was so open to it. Like and like coming from California, like we got everybody, like we call everybody here Mexicans. And on the East Coast, they don't be going for that. They be like, I'm Hispanic. But we got it's just a more diverse in California. But in Virginia State, it was diverse black people. I mean, we had
Yeah.
Africans, Afro Latinas, different Hispanics, like people from different parts of the country, different part of the world that you had never even thought about going there. Like the New York people, like just
Yeah.
it was just a melting pot of everybody. Like you got the people from down south, and then everybody
Mhm.
called me Cali, and it just and you meet other people from California, so it was beautiful.
Nah, it definitely was. Like, you know, that was my first time really mingling with people from up north and all that. Like, that was like
Mhm.
first time I ever been out of Florida, you know. So it's just like it was different, you know, and the culture shock for me because everybody like, man, if people weren't putting that much gold in their mouth like that, like how we
Mhm.
was in Florida. So like I came up there
Yeah.
like that, it was just like, whoa, like it was, you know, and got this type of accent and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was definitely an experience though. So
Yeah, the accents were crazy. Like,
yeah,
and
you
then like
coming
when I
from
would tell people
Cali,
where I'm
I know you
from,
was like,
I'm like, y'all talk real country out here. And then when I came back, like when I came back, I don't know if this was like after my freshman year or sometime, but I had seen my older brother, and he was like, you getting thick, you getting big, and you sound real country. And like even from living in Virginia and living in North Carolina, like when I come back, like when I came back to California and stayed here, I've been back 10 years now this year. Like sometimes when I say certain things, they be like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from
yeah,
Cali, but I've lived in Virginia, North Carolina." So you pick up that like that twang.
yeah, you know, pick that lingo up. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Nah, it'll
Yeah,
do it. So
for sure.
So, are there any standout moments, memorable moments, that like had an impact on you, because like one of them things when you go into college and you just out there, it's just you, like as a young adult, you got accountability, you got all type of stuff. Like it's real because we are, especially like if you got support, if you don't have much support, it's like it's really all on you, So what did that kind of teach you in your growth?
I mean, I grew a lot from 2008 to 2012. Like, I had good family support, but I realized like everybody don't have that financial backing. Like, some people got to go to school and
Mm-hmm.
work and pay their bills and pay their way through college. Like, my mom was like, "I don't want you to work. I want you to focus on school." My great grandmother, like, she would send me a allowance for the semester. It'd be gone in a week, but I still had like my family support. So like, I was good on that end. Like, I never went without, and I'll never forget my friend Dollar. He was just like, "You rich?" I'm like, "I come from the hood. I come from South Stockton. My
Mm-hmm.
parents work regular jobs. I am not rich." But he was like, "I say you rich because you so far from home, and when you call home and you tell your family you need something, they gonna make it happen." Like, and I was like, "Damn, like I am rich in that sense. Like I'm very blessed to have the family that I have, and just the support. Because again, everybody doesn't have it, but." I think like I keep going back to the radio station, but like I feel like that was like just a pivotal time in my time at Virginia State. Like being in the gospel choir was great, but the radio station was what I wanted to do for my career. And
Mm-hmm.
I would always do really good in the spring, and even this, spring semester is the most lit. Like that's when all the stuff. It's just the yard is more popping. It's all the
Yeah, it's
events.
lit. Everybody out there.
Yeah, and I don't know why when the fall would come around, I just would not. I just wouldn't be like on top of my stuff. Like I know like my freshman year I did the Alpha fashion show, and
Mm-hmm.
I my grades was not good that semester, and I had got
Yeah,
on academic probation my sophomore year, and that's the
yeah.
same year that I went to tour the radio station. And so my mom was like, "Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to send you back to school." And I'm like, "I don't want to take a semester off. Like I don't want to not be at school. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
my home. Like this is where I'm supposed to be at. I got friends there." And I had thought about like joining the military because I'm like, I gotta go back to school. Whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna be there. Everything
Mm-hmm.
worked out. I got off of like academic probation. My mom was able to send me back to school, but it was just like a reality check. Like, girl, you're not here for these. You here for your academics.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like that's something I wish I would have done. Like I wish I'd have been more focused in my books. Like not that I was terrible. Like I think that was my only one time being on academic probation
yeah.
during my tenure at Virginia State, but I wish I'd have been like graduating cum laude 3.0, like being on the dean's list and stuff like that. So I wish I would have been a little bit more heavier into the books, you know.
Nah, I feel everything you just said because I had my own little rodeo out there, like real talk. Like you said, academic probation. I end up
Mhm.
starting a whole ride at the gym. I
Oh
don't.
my gosh.
They wanted to say I enticed it because it's something that started with me that really I ain't. I was minding my business, but I end up
Mhm.
getting on. I end up. I think Coach Neal at the
Oh,
time.
rest his soul.
Yeah. Coach Neal was so cool. He was like when I went to the little court thing, because they had court. Like I had to go
Yeah,
to.
judicial affairs. I've never been in there, but I heard.
It was on the verge of trying to kick me out, and I'm in there just looking at them and everything. Like, mind you, like you say, you there for your education, but
Hmm.
it's so much other stuff going on. You got parties in
Yeah.
Ettrick, you got all the other
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm like, this man asked me in the middle of the whole thing. He looked at me, say, "Hey man," he said, "You want to play football or something?" I looked at him. I'm like, mind you, I ain't probably but a good 170. I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
I ain't even. He just looked at me like, man, you feel like. I just had to laugh it off, man. But I was like, yeah, Coach Neal was a real one though. Like he really kind of saved me in that sense, you know.
Yeah, Coach Neal was real solid. Like he was
Yeah,
the one. Yeah.
yeah, big fact. So let's transition to the AKA sorority. So you
Okay, come
also
on.
you're a member of the AKA sorority. So what is being a part of AKA mean to you, and how has that influenced your personal and professional growth as well? Being a part of the organization.
Yeah, being an AKA is a blessing. I didn't join when I was at Virginia State. I definitely wanted to be a member of the Alpha Epsilon chapter. But a delay is not a denial. And a lot of people don't know that you can join as a graduate in a graduate
Mhm.
chapter after you graduate. It's a lifetime commitment. So I'll be AKA till I die. Uh, this year I'll be turning 8. So just being a part of the sorority, I've just learned a lot about myself, just how to conduct myself, how to just really be a leader. I've had different leadership positions, just coming up with different initiatives to give back to the community. So just things like that, really just embodying like what sisterhood is, like having millions of sorority sisters across the world that can just help you and be there to support you in good and bad. If you need something career wise, it's just a beautiful network of like-minded women. So it's great to be a member. Like it was something that I didn't know I wanted to be a part of when I went to college, because Greek life is not really prominent where I grew up at in the
Yeah,
Bay Area and in Stockton. I didn't really know anything about it. And I didn't have many Greeks in my family. So my sister's a Delta. She graduated from Howard, and everybody can't be first, so it's cool. I love her. I respect her sorority decision. But like we are starting like that legacy for our family so that our younger siblings can look up and our cousins can be like, oh, okay, China and Anaya, they're in sororities, and we have a cousin that's SG Rose. So it's like new for our family. But
yeah,
with the connections through my sorority, that's how I got one of my jobs that I was working at a previous blog, and I had just happened to see one of my stories posted because I try to follow other women in media that do either the same thing I want to do or where I'm trying to go for inspiration, and just like try to build that community with them. And so my soror Rosalind, she works for Black Enterprise. I think that's the current company she works for, but at the time she was working at another outlet. And so she was just like, they were hiring, and so I reached out to her like, hey, I'm interested in this position. And at the time I was working at a nonprofit, a solar nonprofit in Sacramento, California. And so I have the experience, like again, with my internship at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know how to write, I know how to handle professional like social media, but I wasn't
mhm,
doing it for like urban entertainment news. So when I sent her over my writing samples, like she didn't deny me. She just was like, okay, like you have the writing capability, but this will be new because you don't have this background. But at the company that we were at, like I got in there quickly, excel, like I was writing articles, but I had an eye at that point like, hey, we should be posting like tweets like this. Like the tweet was like basically saying like they liked Megan Thee Stallion's Tina Snow versus like it was like Big O Freak and then Freak Nasty, like which song did people like better, like one
yeah.
song should have more recognition. And so when I told the owner, like, hey, we should be start posting stuff like that, like that's when she kind of was like, okay, like I still want you to do these 3 articles a day, but I want you to start posting on social media, gathering like the tea, the news that we should be posting. So I went from like a freelance writer to like an associate manager very quickly. And so like all the skills that I learned at that outlet, it helped me get the job at the Shade Room. So definitely like without that connection, like I wouldn't have had that opportunity.
So vibe, you feel me? Nah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Um, so like, when would you say was like, you realized that being a media personality was your calling? Can you recall a moment that solidified your choice to pursue it?
Um, that's a good question. I mean, because I guess like being a radio personality, like when I was a radio personality, I was only doing radio things. So I
Hmm.
wasn't really using social media, or I wasn't really in the field going to events like that.
Yeah,
When I even interned at like iPower Richmond, so like just all of the stations under that cluster, and I would do promotions, but again, I'm not like speaking to people. I'm just kind of like not as like a media personality. So I guess like once I launched Always Relevant TV, because again, when I was volunteering at our TV in Oakland, I was on camera. So I'm like, okay, I do want to be more of a media personality and not just with TV, like social media as well. So I would say back in 2015, that's when I came to that, realization.
Yeah, so that's about almost 10 years, almost just
Yeah.
this 10 year this year.
Mm-hmm.
So like you interview, like so many notable entertainers. Are there any interviews or experiences that particularly stood out to you, doing these interviews? Like anything you kind of heard up and close and personal from the horse's mouth, where you was like, I didn't even, I wouldn't have thought that.
So of course, like my first really big event was the Amber Rose Slut Walk. So that experience will always be like etched in my mind because I talked to a whole bunch of people. I
Yeah.
remember like it's always really good to do your research. And I don't think we knew exactly who was gonna be there. I don't remember like the background. Like I don't realize like I didn't really prep well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people I knew because it was like Love and Hip Hop stars. Like I was watching the show, so I knew those people. Of course, Amber Rose, Black China. But there's a show called there's like a Little Women, like the small women. They had their show on I don't even know the channel, but one of the ladies on there, I think she had just had a baby, and I think I might have asked her if she was pregnant. And she looked at me, and I knew I had fucked up, so it was just pretty much like the conversation was over.
Yeah.
But another experience that like sticks out to me was I got to go to the BET experience. This was probably like 2017, 2018. I don't really remember. It's on my page. But I got to go and have media access like for the celebrity basketball game. So I talked to like Sinquan Wallace and Elle Varner. And then I was just walking around with my camera and somebody stopped me and was like, "Oh, do you want to talk to Money Man?" I didn't know who Money Man was. And I was like,
Oh yeah. Shout
yeah.
out to Money Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Money Man. He's so cool. He's so chill. And I just went on there on his Instagram and I looked. I'm like, okay, crypto. You got a song that just dropped, an album or whatever. So I only had a few minutes to prepare, and I'm kind of like a team of me. Like I had somebody I went to Virginia State with, like she was helping me with the camera, but I don't even know where she was at this point. I think I was just doing it by myself. So like just always trying to stay prepared, like, and a good thing like for people that just started off, like just have questions in your mind of what you're gonna ask people, no matter what. It's just an easy question. And then like most recent, like last year, I went back to the BET experience on my own. Like I took my camera. I didn't have no credentials, but I was like, I'm gonna get on this floor. I'm gonna talk to people. And then I got to talk to Sauce Walker. And I'm not really familiar with him. Like I know who he is. Like I know he's big in Houston. I know like I had seen this one clip that went viral and it was his daughter. She's autistic and she's nonverbal, but she has did his signature phrase, ooey. So like at that time, I was kind of still in my imposter syndrome because I was nervous because I hadn't been out in the field doing interviews. But I had my homegirl that she works for Empire. So she was kind of telling me like, okay, he just dropped this album. Like these some questions you could ask. I'm like, okay, cool. Because again, I'm not super, I know who he is, but I'm like, I don't listen to his music. So I'm not like following him like to know what's going on. And so I was just like, ooh, and he was like, ooh, like trying to get me to say it. And my mind just wasn't clicking. But I felt like the interview started off real bad. But by the end, when I asked him about that moment with his daughter saying, ooh, like, how did that experience? Like, his whole demeanor changed. He lit up. And that interview did so well on my YouTube. So it's just like, I try to like pride myself with keeping my ear to the streets to kind of like knowing who is who the next upcoming person. But like, I'm human. I can't know everybody. But just like, again, like, don't let me feeling like I don't know somebody hold me back from conducting a good interview. So like those are just some moments that stuck out with me.
Nah, that's real, man. Shout out to Money Man. That's like one of my current like favorite top artists. If somebody was asking me today's time, he's like right up there with Young Dollar. So
yeah, he's really, really dope.
Yeah, and then also shout out to Empire. You feel me? That's the team too. We just recently signed with them maybe a month ago. I had
congrats.
Yeah, like
Empire is dope. They're based out here in San Francisco. And it was so crazy because before I had moved to LA, I was just like, man, if I could work with Empire, like I would love to work with them because like they're really, really dope. And it's like you have the distribution to them and it's like still
Yeah.
a sense of like being independent. And I'm like, they're in
Yeah.
my backyard and I have been wanting to like connect with them. But it took me to work at the Shade Room. I had got invited to Key Glock's show. I just so happened to be in San Francisco. So I got to meet Ghazi, the CEO, and just through connected through like a publicist, and so like I was able to build a connection with some people at Empire. But it's been pretty cool. Like you say what you want and you may not get it at that time, but like it still will happen at some moment, so that's really dope.
Nah, facts. Yeah, I'm gonna send you one of my people too in Miami. Like they do like a lot of stuff for South Florida in general. You know, she a legend. She one of the reasons why we end up signing our distribution with them and stuff through our label. So, but
Okay.
media opportunities. You feel me? I'm gonna
Mhm.
introduce you to her and stuff. You know,
Please
so
do.
um, so even with the Shade Room, how you mentioned earlier, you know, being a writer on the platform, like what has been the most rewarding milestone, you know, for you writing for such a major platform?
Yeah. I would say like this year in September will be my 5th year with the company. And so like two things that I know the audience, I know what content people like, but when it comes to like things that I brought to the platform is really have been the spotlight with Black people in country music. So it's been 2 years during Black History Month. I shared like 10 Black artists that you should know, and it went up so hard. And I did another one. I did a part two just because the comments were overwhelmingly like, well, you forgot Tanner Dale. What about this person? We had over 10,000 comments, and I didn't think people would care. And I gotta shout out my girl Raina Roberts because she was the one I met her. She kind of put it in my ear like, y'all doing something for Black History Month, like y'all should pitch this. And I'm like, you know what, this will be amazing. So I was able to get connected with the CMA, that's the Country Music Association. They had me come out to the CMA Fest for the past 2 years to cover it on behalf of the Shade Room. So that's something I could say that no other media outlet, as far as like urban outlets that are similar to the Shade Room, nobody was covering Black people in country until I started that shit. Okay, me.
Nice.
Yeah, so now just to see where the recognition is at with Raina Roberts, Shabuzi, Willie Jones, Tanner Adele, like so many dope Black country artists, like being featured on Beyonce's album, like getting brand opportunities, just getting the recognition they deserve. Like I feel like I had a hand in that. And even when I talked to my contact at CMA, her name is Mia. She's doing great work at the CMA. I was just like, do you think like all of this like new spotlight is it all due to Beyonce? She was like, no, I wouldn't say 100% is due to Beyonce. Beyonce is shining a light on artists,
Right.
but she was like, definitely the help that you have spotlighted through the Shade Room helped too, and that made me feel good. Like even the CEO, she had reposted something that I posted on the platform, and it just lets me know my work is doing amazing. And then the other is like I take very like pride in the HBCU content. Like I got a promotion last year, and with my promotion, like I'm over, just really taking our HBCU content to the next level. So this year I'm trying to, just be more, not just stuff that we're posting on the page, but like, if there's activities and events that we can attend on behalf of the Shade Room for our HBCU spotlight, like I want to make sure that's represented well. And like, if I see something that's trending and it's negative about HBCU, I'm not gonna post it on the Shade Room because it's just gonna maximize it. Same with the Greeks. Just anything that I feel like I'm protective of the HBCU culture and the divine non-culture because just everybody don't understand and they're not gonna see it from the lens that I am. But those are the two things like HBCUs and the country music. That's what I know that I'm making a difference in.
So with that being said too, you know, like what's the biggest misconception or myth you would say that like with people, you know, considering or joining or like not really into it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's
Mhm.
people display a lot of ignorance for the stuff they don't
Yeah.
understand. You know, that's just a natural response. Like I don't really know too much, so they just
Yeah.
try to guess and think. But like
Hmm.
from the horse's mouth, you know what I'm saying? What's some things that you would like to debunk, you know, information that
Yeah.
may be floating around?
Yeah. We're not all stuck up. you can't be dark. You can be dark skinned to be a member, because they be like, back in the day they had, you got to be lighter than a brown pepper bag. Like, that's not true. Like, we have women of all different shades, colors, shapes. People be like, I'm not paying to make friends. It's not about paying to make friends. It's about being in an organization that's larger and bigger than you. Like, having thousands of people in the same organization where you guys have the same common goal to serve all mankind. Just the connections alone. It's just amazing. Like, it's the experience. Like, I have sisters, obviously, but it's a sisterhood on a bigger scale that I've always wanted. Like, people that are going to ride for you. I mean, we have like Facebook groups, and for example, like, hey, my daughter is a freshman, she's going to the school, we don't have any family, it's snowing, I need somebody to help me get some stuff to her. Oh, hey, Sora, I live in this area, I come by and check on her. Or she comes stay at my house. Like, when people move to different places, like, hey, I'm looking for a job. Like, it's resources. So it's just resources. It's just a great organization to be a part of. Whether you are interested in AKA or any of the other sororities, like, I just tell people to do their research. Like, every organization is gonna have like their stereotype, but don't let what people deter you from what you feel like is what you're called to be a part of. But it's good. I wouldn't want to be with no other organization with these connections that we have, like the leaderships that we have. I mean, the members like VP Kamala Harris, like former VP Kamala Harris, and just other just women that they doing it. They doing their big ones. You know what I mean?
Real talk, y'all heard it here. You feel me? Whatever you don't understand, make sure you go educate yourself and research, for your own. Don't go from somebody else saying something and they probably ain't properly did their research, So
Yeah, for sure.
definitely. So what advice do you have for somebody trying to break into the, media industry today?
Yeah. Oh, you gotta have thick skin, because you're gonna hear a lot of no's before you get that yes, but don't let the no stop you. Again, like we talked about, like, we're in a time where you can have your own platform and you can be doing good on social media or whatever. Like, if you have a blog space before, like, you have to have something going for yourself to take to these outlets. They want to see like what you can add to their company. So, I wish, like, again, I wish I would have like kept something going for myself when I was in college. But it's okay if you start late. Like, just start. It don't have to be perfect. Like, even like I was seeing one of my friends, like, she's in media as well, and I'm like, girl, we need to connect. And like, how you have a friend, like, you cool, like, y'all in the same industry, y'all see each other at events, y'all always be like, we're gonna get together, but y'all never get together. So she's like one of my homegirls like that. But I'm like, no, for real, like, we've been saying this for years, like, let's really get together. Because I was just like, you inspire me, because I'm seeing what you're doing. You're at all of these events, and I'm like, sometimes, like, I feel like I'm not getting access to things. And again, this is my year of asking for help and trying to be consistent. I'm like, girl, I need to know what's the tea, like, how you getting all these events and stuff like that. And she was like, we gonna get together and we need to just really talk about it. She was like, girl, before I even moved to LA, I looked you up, I was seeing what you was doing. I'm like, for real? Like, you just never know, like, just as much as I be looking for the other media girls, you never know who's
Yeah.
looking at you. So, like, build that community and ask for help. Like, if it's something you need, like, I'm just not gonna not say what I need this year, because it'd be like, we be trying to keep a front or save face. Like, for what? For what? When this person can have the contact to so and so that you need. Like, so
That's
yeah.
for
But
real. It's the
yeah.
power. It's the power of unity and the importance of teamwork. For
Mm-hmm.
real.
Yeah, so for sure, like, so if anybody like that's trying to get in the industry, like, just to sum it up, like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, if you go to one HBCU, you see somebody that's a alumni from another HBCU, reach out to them. Somebody Greek, non-Greek, whatever. Just reach out to the people that you have questions for, because I feel like as long as you come to them correctly, they're gonna guide you into the right footsteps. Or say, if I don't have the time, they're gonna suggest you to somebody else. Like, most
Yup.
people are not gonna say no unless they just really don't have the capacity. And then use what you have. Like, again, I had brought my friend up new, just to say, like, when she goes to these events, she don't always have a camera, she uses her phone. And sometimes, like, I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't have the right camera. Girl, these iPhones got 6K. So, like,
Yeah.
let me
Straight
just
up.
use this, you know what I mean? So use the resources that you have. Don't be afraid to take risks, don't be afraid to bet on yourself, and don't be afraid to take to ask for help.
You already heard the gems right here, for real. So even people that's looking to build their platform as you started your platform, everybody, you know, we start from zero and then we just work our way. Like, what are some critical lessons you learned, you know, that they should always keep in mind?
Yeah. I would say be consistent. Cause I like, even though I've had my platform on YouTube and my social media for years, like I don't have the followers that it don't match. It don't look like this is a 10-year-old platform. It looked like I just started. But I'm not consistent. I'm gonna say I wasn't consistent. So even though I'm putting stuff out, it's not consistent. So it's like stay consistent. Even if you're not at an event, you're not at a carpet, find something relevant to post that aligns with your overall message so it looks like you are active, because you don't want, like with my page, like now I'm more active, now I'm consistent. Like I want to drop 2 podcast episodes a month. I want to try to get to events and stuff like that. Like I've been pitching to go to cover different things just so that people can see like, okay, China is, she's active, she's not just posting once a year, because sometimes I would just post once a year. Like I would go to, like the last 2 years, I went to like the baddies from on Zeus. They would have a premiere out here, and I would go do those videos, and they would do amazing. But then I would just let my channel sit, and I wouldn't post anything. So it's like just try to stay consistent as much as you can.
Nah, for real. Consistency is the cheat code. Everybody want to be like, what's this? What's that? How I do this? Being consistent is bring everything to you, you know? Like you just keep planting your seeds, planting your seed, keep moving forward. When that seed grow that you planted maybe 5-6 months ago, start doing something. It's just like it just come from just planting, keep going. Like so even if in a fast paced, you know, and sometimes unpredictable industry, how do you maintain your authenticity?
I mean, I ain't never had no problem showing up as me. I don't really feel like I shrink myself. Like, I mean, of course, like if you in a new space, like I ain't gonna be as loud and
Yeah,
as I would typically be like if I was
gotta
my
figure it out.
homegirls. Yeah, you gotta know what it's a time and place for everything. But I always show up for me. Like I'm always gonna like, pop my shit if somebody asks me about something. I'm always gonna try to give like realistic advice and talk about like what's real and what's not real, and align myself with people that I feel like are gonna be just good people to be around, and we can benefit each other. Like I don't want to just be giving, and I don't want somebody just taking. Like I want it to be mutual. Everything like mutually beneficial for me. But yeah, I'm just always trying to like I'm me. Like I
That
don't
part.
really get shy. I get a little nervous and anxious, but I always show up as me, because it's like if I don't show up as me, they're not gonna know my authenticity, and they're gonna think like, oh, she was being fake or she was being weird. Like no,
Right.
I just be me. You know what I mean? So it's not
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, it ain't hard, you know, but in the world and what we be seeing going on, like I be seeing people just doing too much. And it's just like when
Yeah,
you just be yourself and you comfortable with you, it shows so much. Like it ain't
yeah.
too much effort on it, you know?
Right. Oh my gosh, that made me think of like years ago when I was volunteering with the TV station in Oakland. We had
Mhm.
did I just happened to see like some little flyer on Eventbrite, and I reached out to them, and it was like a publicist, and he was able to put me on a couple of events during All-Star weekend. No, it was a Super Bowl weekend they had it in San Francisco. And I'll never forget, like one of the girls that I was working with at the station, I don't know why this lady got up on the floor on a red carpet and was drinking and just doing too much. I was so embarrassed. And I'm just like, it's a time and place for that. But
Yeah.
like when we go to these events, we are at work. Like we are literally at work. Like we are there to not really have fun. We're there to work. And then once our work is done, like then you can have fun. But like
Yeah,
just know
celebrate
how to
your, you
conduct
know.
yourself.
Yeah, that's just like being an artist. Like I ain't finna go. I didn't have my, you know, it's been a long journey. I done had moments where I'm like, I get on stage, I be too lit before I perform, and it's just like
Mhm.
you can't do that. You got to put the show
Yeah.
on. I learned do your show first, and then you celebrate what's going on, and you hang out after. Like, well, you on
Yeah.
stage, you got to give these people all of you right here, like for real.
For sure. For sure. That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking.
Beat facts. You know, it's a learning process though. You know, as you grow, you start to understand and just kind of mold into what you doing, you know.
Nah, but that lady, she knew better than that. She was older than me.
Oh.
I'm like, I couldn't do that. But y'all take that gems, okay?
Real talk. So, you know, as we push the, you know, the power of manifestation and stuff, like You know, we big on that. So what do you see yourself professionally and personally within the next 6 months, you know, by say halfway, like something you already see happening for yourself? And I always tell
Yeah.
people, it ain't gotta be the biggest, like, you know, it can be a small wins or, you know, I was consistent on this. Like all that stuff counts because each small win is compound interest. It ends up being something huge. But it was those steps you took beforehand, you know?
Yeah. So I in 6 months I plan on having my YouTube channels monetized, my subscribers increase. Um I want to drop 2 episodes. I'm not good at the math, so I'm trying to drop 2 episodes a month for my podcast. So in 6 months, that'll be a lot of episodes. I want to continue to network and make sure that I have guests booked on my show consistently. Um, I've been praying on it, and I feel like God been bringing me people, so I'm good on that. And I just want to continue to expand on that. Would like to be on more carpets, and I really want to just have more for my overall brand. Like I want people to know China Lovelace overall, not just associated with the shade room. Like I want to be on panels and I want to be flown out for brand trips and I just want to do the most. Like I want to do the most for the time that I am here in LA, and I want people to know me. I want something to go viral, a positive piece of content from my podcast. So yeah, I've got big goals, and I know that they will happen.
Nah, facts. It's power in words, and everything you said, it's already happened. You know, you just put it out there for you. You know, so
Mhm.
who are some of the people who've been, you know, especially impactful and supportive on your journey, and the shout outs or words of gratitude for them?
Oh yeah, my family. Shout out to my little sister Anaya, my fine friends back home. Well, up in Sacramento, and one's in Atlanta. Reese, Risha, and Gina. They hold me down with my accountability, words of encouragement. Just my overall friends. My sorors that are here in LA that hold me down. Ebony and Elisa. There's other ones too, but it's so many people to name. But my
I'm
friends
telling
know who they are. My core circle. If I need help with anything, they're always like rooting for me. They'll be like, "Okay, let me connect you with this person." So I'm really blessed to have a good circle of friends.
Big fat. Shout out to Will Gamble the plug too. I see you, homie. Say peace, y'all. My network for real. That's what's up, man.
Hey.
So are there any upcoming projects, events, or collaboration you're excited about that you could share with us right now?
The biggest project that I'm working on is just my podcast, Always Relevant Conversation. So if you guys are not familiar, I would ask you guys to follow us on social media at Always Relevant TV, just like it sounds. And that's the same for the YouTube channel, Always Relevant TV. So the biggest way you can support me is on those platforms.
Nah, big facts. And yeah, that's really about it though, China, for real. You know, like I say, it was definitely an honor to have you on the show, you know, and once you lock in with us, I always tell people like you really just locked in. It's a family thing, you know. 7 seasons, over 100 episodes, 100 guests. We worldwide with it, you know, from up north, down south, east to the west. You feel me? So
Yeah.
we always, you know, one thing, it don't stop here. We always check in, anything going on you got going on, we make sure we just do our part, share like it's ours. I always tell people it's like we like the passenger while you driving that fast car, we over on the other side that riding with you, you know, with the seatbelt out, because we trust that you know what you're doing, you know.
Look, I say we look when you locked in, we ain't no switching up, and
Real talk.
I'm always gonna support a fellow Trojan, no matter how long you was at Virginia State. You always a
Yeah.
Trojan. Once a Trojan, always a Trojan. Okay.
Nah, big fat something. I always going because you know, like I say, that network is, you know, and I be like, man, when I look and see, like, cause me and shout out to SF show too, you know, like
Yes,
me and bro
homeboy.
connected. We ran into each other in Atlanta, and I heard he was from there. I said, you went to state? He's like, yeah, I went to state. I went the same. We was the same people. We all just connected, you know. So
Yeah.
the universe just got a crazy way of just doing, because we went to the station at the same time. He was there for another interview. I was there. We just, you know, chopped it up. But nah, big shout out to the homie though.
Yeah. Big shout out to him.
So, you know, the last, you know, thing before we get you out of, you know, when you hear the word underdog, what does it mean to you personally, and how does it resonate with your journey, you know, in the industry, you know, overall?
Yeah. I feel like an underdog is resilient, and it's somebody that people count out. I definitely would say like I'm an underdog just where I'm coming from, like my background, my family makeup, like growing up in South Stockton, you ain't really expected to like do anything. And from my household, my sister got a doctorate degree. She's trying to be an astronaut, will be an astronaut, and me, I'm in the media industry. So it's just proving like it don't matter where your background from, what city you came from or state, like you can rise above anything and make it. Like I've been out here doing my own thing and work at a great company, but I'm still always gonna bet on me. So underdogs, we the big dogs at the end of the day. So y'all better watch out for us.
Real talk, I always tell people, man, you can't forget the underdog or count them out. If you can you can try to count the underdog out, you can't count, because even if you look at all these bios of your favorite entertainers, like when you look at that biography or whatever and stuff, they always start out and show you they started as an underdog, you know, straight out of Compton, NWA, the Bobby Brown story. Like I be into that type of stuff because I be liking to see the resilience and how hard they worked in the beginning. You know, it's all good at the end, you know, but it's what you go through what make you, mold you, and shape you into the person you are. So yeah, shout out to the underdogs out here. You feel me?
We might be in, but we never gonna break none of us underdogs. We big dogs.
Nah, real talk. Wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, like I say, appreciate you, Queen, for tapping in with us. I'm gonna make sure I send you that information over, you know, and put word out there for you and connect that, you know. So we definitely going up. It's 2025. Y'all already heard it, man. Season 7, episode 14, Behind the Spotlight, featuring a media mogul, entrepreneur, influencer, founder of Always Relevant TV. We had China Lovelace. You feel me?
Thank you so much for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your day. We're gonna tap in.
Okay, for sure. Hit me up. We locked in.
Most definitely.
Okay, bye.
Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals, sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. I'm something like a pie, never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened, I got stones around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause it don't got no curfew. Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals, sound like Janet. Marble